Good evening, and welcome back. If you care about military leadership, accountability, and the standards expected of the people entrusted with America's national security, you will want to stay with us through this entire report. And before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you do not miss any in-depth coverage like this.
Mr. Hegseth, thank you for being here today. Thank you for your service to this country.
Thank you, Senator.
Few nominees come into this room with all the necessary experience to do this job, to be Secretary of Defense. We get that. It's a reflection on just how big of a job this is. What I want to understand is whether or not you bring any of the necessary experience that this job requires. And here's where I'm concerned. Senator Coleman, in introducing you, and this is a quote, he said, "He has struggled and overcome great personal challenges," unquote. You walk in here saying that you've had personal and character issues in your past, including heavy drinking, which you wrote about. And you said, and this is a quote from you, that you said, "I sit before you as an open book." Yet you haven't actually said what personal challenges it is that you've overcome when you've been asked about them. So I'm going to give you an opportunity here to be as forthright as you say you want to be. So while leading concerned veterans of America, there were very specific cases cited by individuals about your conduct. I'm going to go through a few of them, and I just want you to tell me if these are true or false. Very simple. On Memorial Day 2014, at a CVA event in Virginia, you needed to be carried out of the event for being intoxicated.
Senator, anonymous smears.
Just true or false? Very simple. Summer of 2014 in Cleveland, drunk in public with the CVA team.
Anonymous smears.
I'm just asking for true or false questions. True or false answers. An event in North Carolina, drunk in front of 3 young female staff members after you had instituted a no alcohol policy and then reversed it. True or false?
Anonymous smears.
December of 2014 at the CVA Christmas party at the Grand Hyatt at Washington, D.C., you were noticeably intoxicated and had to be carried up to your room. Is that true or false?
Anonymous smears.
Another time, a CVA staffer stated that you passed out in the back of a party bus. Is that true or false?
Anonymous smears.
In 2014, while in Louisiana on official business for CVA, did you take your staff, including young female staff members, to a strip club?
Absolutely not. Anonymous smears.
So, is it accurate that the organization reached a financial settlement with a female staffer who claimed to be at a strip club with you, and there was a colleague who attempted to sexually assault her? Was there a financial settlement?
Senator, I was not involved in that. I don't know the nature of how that played out.
But you understand there was a financial settlement for a young female staffer who accused another member of the organization, not you, of sexual assault in a strip club.
We have multiple statements on the record referring to that.
But you claim you were not there when that occurred.
Absolutely not.
Now, the behavior I cited, if true, do you think that this behavior of intoxication, going into these type of establishments, women on your staff being so uncomfortable that they have to file these sort of harassment claims, do you think this is appropriate behavior for a leader?
Senator, the overwhelming majority of anyone who's worked for me, including the on-the-record statements that have been submitted to this, with their name on it, on the record, men and women who worked with me every day, are the overwhelming preponderance of evidence that testify to my leadership and professionalism in leading Vets for Freedom and Concerned Veterans for America. My leadership has been completely impugned on these veterans organizations that did fantastic work.
Mr. Hegseth, I'm not even going to go into the. I'm not even going to go into the
and
accusations.
We managed our financial books with integrity across the board. How many people? Everybody who runs a campaign.
I have limited time. I'm not going to get into the accusations that come from Fox News. I know you have some of your Fox News colleagues here. There were multiple instances of accusations against you about drinking on the job.
All anonymous, all false, all refuted by my colleagues who I worked with for 10 years at 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and everything
The challenge here for me, Mr. Hegseth,
only seen me be professional
is when there is discussion about personal challenges and you admittedly had issues with heavy drinking. It's hard to kind of square this, to square the circle here. It's kind of a difficult thing to do. Let me ask you, if I have about 90 seconds left here, if you had to answer these questions about sexual assault against you and your drinking and your personal conduct, would it have been different if you were under oath?
Senator, all I'm pointing out is the false claims against me.
Okay, I take it you do not want to answer that question. I walked into this hearing this morning concerned that you haven't demonstrated adequate leadership in your civilian roles. And this is a dangerous world we're living in here. And America cannot afford a Secretary of Defense who is unprepared for that mission. I'm going to leave with concerns about your transparency. You say you've had personal issues in your past, yet when asked about those very issues, you blame an anonymous smear campaign, even when many of these claims are not anonymous. Which is it? Have you overcome personal issues, or are you the target of a smear campaign? It can't be both. It's clear to me that you're not being honest with us or the American people because you know the truth would disqualify you from getting the job. And just as concerning as each of these specific disqualifying accusations are, what concerns me just as much is the idea of having a Secretary of Defense who is not transparent. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back my 2 seconds.
Thank you.
Today's focus
Mr. Hegseth,
is a tense
thank
and
you for being here
revealing
today.
moment from the
Thank you
Senate
for your
confirmation
service
hearing
to
of
this
Pete
country.
Hegseth,
Thank you, Senator.
President
Few
Trump's nominee
nominees
for
come into this
Secretary
room
of
with all the
Defense.
necessary
What
experience
unfolded
to
was
do this
not a
job, to be
routine
Secretary of
exchange.
Defense. We
It
get
was a
that.
pointed
It's a
confrontation that cut
reflection
straight
on
to
just
questions of
how
judgment,
big of a job this
credibility,
is.
and transparency,
What I want to
qualities that are
understand is whether
non-negotiable
or
for
not
the
you
civilian
bring
leader of
any
the United
of the
States
necessary
military.
experience that this
The
job
senator
requires.
opened by acknowledging a basic truth.
And here's where I'm
Very
concerned.
few nominees walk into
Senator
this room
Coleman,
with every
introducing
qualification
you,
perfectly checked
and
off.
this is a quote,
The
he
job
said,
of Secretary
"He
of
has
Defense
struggled
is
and
enormous,
overcome
complex,
great
and
personal
unlike almost
challenges."
any other position
Unquote.
in government.
You
But the
walk in
concern
here saying
raised
that you've
here was
had
not about missing
personal
credentials.
and
It
character
was about
issues in
whether
your
Mr.
past, including
Hegseth's
heavy
past
drinking,
conduct reflects
which you
the
wrote
kind
about.
of leadership this role
And you
demands.
said, and this is a quote
The
from you,
senator referenced Mr.
that
Hegseth's own words.
you said, "I
He had
sit
described
before
himself
you
as someone
as
who
an
struggled
open
and
book."
overcame great personal
Yet you haven't
challenges.
actually
He had written
said
openly
what
about
personal
heavy drinking.
challenges
He had told the
it
committee
is that
he
you've
was an open
overcome
book.
when you've
And
been
that
asked
framing
about them.
matters
So I'm going to
because
give you an
once a
opportunity
nominee
here to be
introduces
as
personal
forthright
struggle as part of
as
their
you say you want to
narrative,
be.
senators are obligated to
So
understand
while
what that
leading
struggle
concerned
actually
veterans
entailed
of America,
and
there
whether
were
it has
very specific
implications for
cases
future
cited by
leadership.
individuals
This is
about
where
your
the hearing
conduct.
took a sharp
I'm
turn.
going to go through a
The
few of
senator
them,
began listing
and I just want
specific
you to tell me
incidents
if
from
these
Mr.
are
Hegseth's time
true
leading
or
concerned
false.
veterans for America.
Very simple.
These were
On
not
Memorial
vague
Day
rumors. They
2014,
were detailed
at a
allegations
CVA
tied
event
to
in
dates,
Virginia,
locations,
you
and
needed to be
events.
carried
The
out of
senator
the
asked for
event
simple
for being
true or false
intoxicated.
answers. Was Mr. Hegseth intoxicated at a
anonymous
Memorial
smears.
Day event in Virginia
Just
in
true or false?
2014 and carried out?
Very
Was he
simple.
drunk in
Summer of
public at a
2014
summer
in
event in
Cleveland,
Cleveland?
drunk
Was he
in
intoxicated
public
at an event
with
in
the
North
CVA
Carolina
team?
in front of young female staff members
Anonymous
after
smears.
instituting a
I'm just asking
no-alcohol
for true or
policy?
false questions.
Was he
True or false
visibly
answers.
intoxicated at a Christmas party
event
at
in
the
North
Grand
Carolina,
Hyatt in Washington,
drunk in
D.C.?
front of 3
Did he
young
pass
female
out on a
staff
party
members
bus? Did he take
after
staff
you had
members to a strip
instituted
club
a
while on
no
official
alcohol
business?
policy and then
Each
reversed it?
time,
True or
Mr.
false?
Hegseth responded
Anonymous
with the
smears.
same phrase,
December of
anonymous
2014 at
smears.
the CVA Christmas
That
party
response
at
is
the Grand
important
Hyatt at
because it
Washington,
reveals
D.C.
the core tension of this
You were
hearing. On one
noticeably
hand,
intoxicated
Mr. Hegseth
and had to be
presents himself
carried
as someone
up
who
to
has
your
confronted
room.
and
Is that true
overcome
or
personal
false?
failings.
Anonymous
On the other
skiers.
hand, when
Another
confronted
time,
with
a CBA
specific
staffer
allegations tied to
stated
that
that
very
you
issue,
passed
he
out
rejects
in the
them
back of
entirely
a
as
party
false
bus. Is that
attacks.
true or false?
As viewers, this
Anonymous
is where
smears.
context matters.
In
Leadership is not
2014,
just about
while
denying
in Louisiana
accusations,
on
it is about
official
how a
business
leader
for
accounts for their
CBA,
past,
did you take
especially
your
when that past
staff,
involves power over
including young
subordinates and
female staff
professional
members,
environments that
to a
include
strip
young
club?
staff members.
Absolutely
The
not.
Secretary of
Anonymous
Defense
smears.
oversees millions of service
So-
members, civilian employees, and contractors. Issues of alcohol
it
use, workplace
accurate
conduct, and accountability
that the
are not side
organization
concerns.
reached
They are
a
central to
financial
military discipline
settlement
and
with a
trust.
female
The senator
staffer
then raised a
who
particularly
claimed to
serious
be
point,
at a strip
a
club with
financial
you,
settlement involving a female
and there was a
staffer
colleague
who alleged
who
sexual
attempted to
assault by
sexually
another member of
assault
the
her.
organization at a
Was
strip
there a
club.
financial
While Mr.
settlement?
Hegseth denied being present
Senator,
and
I was
denied
not
involvement,
involved in that.
the existence of a
I don't know the
settlement
nature
itself
of how
raises
that
questions
played
about the
out.
culture of
But you
leadership within
understand
the
there was a
organization
financial
at the time.
settlement
If you
for
are
a young
finding this
female
analysis
staffer
helpful,
who
take a moment to subscribe to the
accused
channel. We
another
break down these
member of the
hearings so you
organization,
can
not you,
understand what is really at stake
of
beyond the sound
sexual
bites.
assault in a strip
As the
club.
exchange continued,
We have
Mr.
multiple statements
Hegseth
on the
defended
record
his
referring to
record by
that.
pointing to colleagues
But you
who
claim you
submitted
were
on-the-record
not there when that
statements
occurred.
praising his professionalism
Absolutely
and
not.
leadership. That defense is not meaningless. Support
Now,
from coworkers matters,
behavior I
but
cited,
confirmation hearings
if
are
true,
not popularity contests.
think that
They are
this
evaluations
behavior
of risk.
of intoxication,
Senators are not only asking whether
going into
someone has
these type of
supporters,
establishments,
they're asking whether unresolved
women on
questions
your
could
staff being
compromise
so
leadership
uncomfortable
during
that they
a
have to file
crisis.
these
The
sort of
senator
harassment
pressed
claims.
further,
Do you think
pointing out a
this
contradiction that became
is
the heart of the
appropriate
exchange.
behavior for a
Mr.
leader?
Hegseth cannot simultaneously
Senator,
claim to have overcome
the
serious
overwhelming
personal
majority
issues
of anyone
and
who's
also
worked for me,
insist that
including
all
the
allegations
on-the-record
related to those
statements that have been
issues
submitted
are
to this-
fabricated
with their
smears.
name on it, on
Both
the record,
narratives
men and
cannot
women
be
who
fully
worked with
true
me
at the same
every
time.
day
If
are
you
the
want more clear,
overwhelming
contextual
preponderance of
breakdowns
evidence
of
that
critical
testify
hearings like
to
this,
my
make
leadership
sure you
and
subscribe to the channel.
professionalism
We will
in leading
continue
Vets for
following this
Freedom and Concerned
confirmation
Veterans for
process
America.
closely
My
and
leadership
bringing
has
you
been
the analysis
completely
that helps you
impugned
understand
on
what
these
these
veterans
moments really
organizations
mean.
that
Thank
did
you for watching.
fantastic